Welcome back to another episode of Gear or Gadget. Today we have somewhat of a new, maybe familiar face at the table. Jase Otto, formerly featured on Whitetail Cribs, also the newest hire within the Exodus office. So, you don't know the rules to this yet. We gotta fill you in. You've only been here for a few weeks. You should be familiar with it, but I know your mentality, I know your work ethic, and you probably haven't watched an episode yet. So, rule number one, if you use the term game changer, I cut your tongue out with this knife. That's rule number one. Rule number two, there is no brand bashing. That's tough to say.
Yes, it is.
And rule number three, if you guys find value in this video, you should probably smash that subscribe and like button for us. Leave us a comment. If you think Jase is a goofball, let him know down in that comment section. Any questions?
No. Get started, I guess.
All right, who's kicking off? Cameron?
Yeah, I'll take it away. So last time we had an episode, we had Tony Sangelosi on, and he did that gear hanger, the tethered his strap. Mm-hmm. And I said that I might have a product that is going to eliminate the need for the his strap. And here it is. This is the Genesis 3D Tether Bow Hanger. So this is fixed to my tether. I'm a saddle hunter, obviously. This is Sterling Oplux tether, 8mm rope, and they make Genesis 3D makes a bow hanger that fixes right to your tether. They also have one that's removable, just has like kind of a hook style, and you can hook it on and hook it off. But what's nice about this is I don't have to carry anything else in. I don't have another his strap. I don't have another gear strap. Because on the other product that I have here is like the tether assist hook. And he built this for one stickers, and when you're one sticking, you're using your tether to keep you to attach to the tree at all times. And you have two of these hooks, and then you grab them and lift your tether up. But for me, I use it as another gear hanger. Sometimes I'll hang my pack from this. I have that Sitka tool belt, and if I'm not wearing it while I'm hunting, I'll attach it to this, or I'll attach my quiver to this, or my grunt call. You can equip your tether with as many of these as you want, as you need, and your tether acts as that his strap. But one thing you have to keep in mind with this system, if you're going to run this system, it's not perfect, but it works. You have to have some type of mechanism to fix your tether position. So if you are saddle hunting, you'll notice that when you take your weight off your tether, the tether where it's around the tree wants to drop. So you need something that'll keep that in a fixed position. I had a hunt last week where I was just doing like a quick hunt and I wasn't really paying attention. And I actually had my bow on the gear hook, and then I had my tool belt on this assist hook, and I was just adjusting my saddle and lifted up, and boom, everything started to fall. And then I was like, oh, like, what do I do? Because I can't adjust the tether. I had my bow in my hand, I had my pack in my hand. So that was kind of a mess. But this is like the Bund Easy system that Genesis 3D sells. There's also some like tether assist products by Innovating the Outdoors. We'll put a link to that. I just bought it. It hasn't come in yet. So I think that'll work a little bit easier than this because there's no adjusting it. You don't have to cinch it down or anything. It just kind of clips onto your tether to fix it in position.
And that clip is basically going around your loop where your tag end of your tether comes around the tree.
Yep.
So the part that goes around the tree is
stationary.
Fixed.
Yep, it's fixed to that position. So once you get it to where you're comfortable, you cinch that down, and then when your weight is on your tether, when your weight's on this end of it, it stays there, can't move. And as soon as you lift, take that weight off it, it'll drop. So once you put this through the loop, you take your carabiner, put it through the loop, it cinches like this.
It's almost like a stopper knot.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah,
basically.
And that Innovating the Outdoors thing is like that. It just goes around here and the loop, and it just stops it. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's like the lightest thing, and it doesn't add any weight to my tether, and I don't have to bring anything else. You've hunted with me a bunch of times. How many times did I forget my bow hanger?
It happens.
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
so
happens.
this, I can't forget it. If I'm saddle hunting, I have a bow hanger. If I'm hunting from the ground, I don't need one. So for me, Genesis 3D printed bow hanger fixed to your tether. It's gear. I like it. I like the way it holds my bow fine. I know it's kind of nerve wracking. You have your bow on this, and it doesn't look that stable, but you hang it on there. It's pretty solid. It will drop just a little bit, but it's not enough to make your bow fall off the tree, and it doesn't make any noise.
Have you had it set up in like any wonky trees yet, like super hard leaning trees? Is there any? I mean, it doesn't look like there's much adjustability there. Is it ever like just like opened up too much where you feel like the bow is gonna slide off? I mean, I know there's a little tab or hook or lip at the end of that, but have you been in a scenario where you're nervous about?
I haven't, because what you'll see is when you put weight on this goes like this.
Interesting.
It kind of like it pinches
So
it
it
up,
almost like cams over when you put weight on
and
it.
then you put weight on it, and it levels out.
Okay.
So it's not like when you have it on the tree, it's not already like this, and then when you put weight on it, it goes down. When you have weight on it, it kind of pinches up like this.
So is that by design with the round frame on that eyelet? Like
I'm honestly not sure, but it just seems that every time that I've cinched this down, it's like this until I put my bow on it.
Okay.
And then I put my bow on it and it levels out and it's fine. And I'm shooting a Matthews Triax and it has like wide limbs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only putting one limb on this and this catches it. This could be a little bit higher, but if you're hanging it on your cam, this gets in the way if it's any higher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to hang my bow from my cam because you have to kind of finagle it off.
Yep.
I like to just put it right on my limb.
Yep.
But yeah, it works. Like I said, it's not perfect because you don't have all that adjustability. You can't put it away from the tree any further. But you can move this around your tether in any position. You can have it as far or close to as you want. And you don't have to take anything else with you. And for my minimalist style, it fits and it works. So this is going to be the bow hanger that I use for this year.
What kind of, do you know what kind of material that's printed out of? I mean, I know that there's a bunch of different types of plastic you can run through a machine. Some have different material qualities, I guess.
Yeah.
Better cold weather performance, tensile strength.
I haven't looked into it, but everything that he's doing on his website seems to be pretty good, and I just trusted him. So,
and at the end of the day, you're only hanging a few pounds off of it.
Yeah,
you're talking four or 5 pounds.
Yeah, and all my weight is on the tether. All the time, my weight's on the tether, so I'm not worried about it falling away.
Right.
And it's right here. So the way I'm set up in the tree, if the tree's here, I have my bow right here. So if it were to start falling, I could just grab it. I'm not worried about that. But if it would happen, I could save it, and then I'll say, hey, I'll have another review and say, hey, this thing's a piece of junk. But yeah, the solution for me was there. This is what I was looking for. I've always said, like, man, I haven't found a bow hanger that I like.
Yep.
And the his strap idea is good, and the Latitude Outdoors strap is good, but it's something else you have to take with you. And I don't want to hang anything else. This is here.
It's not only the his strap or what's Latitude's name for their strap?
I forget.
But you also have to have like the S hooks or carabiners, or you
Hero
need to have
clip.
hero clips or Kydex. Like there's another. It's just a part of the system. Like that entire system encompasses 3 or 4, 5 different things.
Yep.
So I mean, I see the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
I've never used one. I see some advantages to it. I think when I'm hunting out of a saddle, you and I have similar thought process on how to use, like staying tight to the tree, keep your profile down, use the tree as a blocker. A lot of stuff John talks about.
Yep.
So I think that would actually fit into how I hunt pretty well.
Yeah, because the bow hanger that you're using right now is that Hawk one.
Yeah,
and it's really small.
Yeah, it's
and
small.
Your bow's up against the tree. You don't have anything else sticking out.
Right.
And yeah, I really like it. I haven't. Another thing about like those bow hangers that come, like you can adjust and pull them out. If your shot's right there, you have to move your bow hanger.
I'm always worried about that.
Yeah.
That's why I don't use them.
I used the Hawk extendable arm in North Dakota because the tree was too big, and this bow hanger, I couldn't get it in a good position. And when that buck came in, I had to use my bow and move that bow hanger out of the way. So with this, there's nothing to get in the way.
The only time I like using a bow hanger, if I'm set up in a stand and I know I'm going to be sitting, and then I could drop that bow
right here.
like right here in front of me where I'm not, reaching around doing, having a bunch of crazy movement. But outside of that, like I want to be tight, close to the tree.
I think if I hunted out of a tree stand, I'd look into those bow hangers that clip onto your platform. It's like right here next to you because you're going to be sitting. And even if you're standing, you can just grab the limbs and move it.
Sure.
So I just don't like taking anything else with me.
Yeah.
And this is attached to me at all times. I never have to worry about taking anything. I'm always going to have my tether if I'm saddle hunting. So I'm always going to have my bow hanger. And for me, that's what I like. So for me, Genesis 3D bow hanger and tether assist hook. You can equip this tether with as many of these as you want. It's gear.
What's the cost on those?
This was like $12 for both of them, I think.
Oh, okay.
So,
Super cheap.
Yeah, they're really cheap.
Yeah.
And he ships them fast. He does a really good job, and he has a ton of cool products on there. So I like what that guy's doing. Yeah, gear.
I definitely think it's a gear as well. I'm not a saddle hunter, so I've never used one before, but I always use the screw-in ones to the tree, and those can kind of be a pain a lot of times. You know, you're trying to sit there and screw it in. Sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes you're sitting there for 5 minutes just trying to get it screwed into a tree.
Yep.
And then I'll leave them in a spot, and then I won't have one when I go to my next spot or something. And then it kind of just gets annoying having to carry multiple of them with you. With that, it makes it a lot more simpler.
Yeah, so maybe for you should look into the one that goes on your stand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You mentioned that, and I was like, I'll definitely have to look into that.
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah, I think it's a piece of gear. I mean, I've hunted with you and been around you enough to know like you're not gonna use something that is just hyped up and doesn't work. So I respect your opinion on the things you're buying and things that you're using. And a lot of the stuff that you've talked about in the past, I'm like, you don't need that. And then I end up down the line kind of conforming to some of those products because it makes my life easier. So I will agree with you and say it's a piece of gear, even though I haven't used it.
Cool. Jase, what'd you bring?
All right, brought a little controversial item. So when I bought this the other day, I actually sent a picture to Cameron, and I think his reply back was a laughing face. But this is a product by Dead End Game Calls. It's their OdorZone SP-E Scent Prevention and the Fresh Earth scent. So a lot of people have, their different opinions on scent prevention, scent spray, eliminating sprays, whatever. People have their own ways of doing it. I like to wash my clothes. I like to spray my clothes. I'm not saying it's 100%. It's not always going to work, but it makes me feel better at least. It makes me feel like my clothes are somewhat not smelling like human odor or whatever. So this, honestly, I think works really well. What sold me on it is I was at this small bow shop the other weekend, and the guy, I was looking at him, and he took a can of Axe and sprayed it into a red Solo cup, and then he sprayed this over top of it, and I mean, you couldn't even smell the Axe. Everybody knows Axe is really strong. It's what you wore in junior high to impress the ladies. But
He still wears it.
Don't tell anyone. But yeah, but honestly, yeah, I really like it. It works well. I just like to use it as a cover scent, especially when I'm walking in, to try to cover as much as my ground scent when I'm going to my stands or leaving stands. I think it works pretty well. I don't know. I mean,
Is it a cover scent or is it?
It's both.
Scent.
It's both. It's kind of like a cover scent, but it also has got the scent elimination from the OdorZone. Spray kills odor-causing bacteria with the addition of the Fresh Earth scent, helping you go undetected from your prey.
So what ingredient in there is
Killing the scent.
killing the bacteria or killing scent-producing molecules? I guess.
I guess the OdorZone, whatever it says, the OdorZone scent elimination. So I guess that's whatever is killing all the spray or is killing the scent.
Yeah, when he sent me the picture of it, I instantly was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's like a little disappointment from him.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about like beating a deer's nose and how it's just like kind of impossible. And when you told me the study with like the Axe in the can, and what did I say?
Well, deer can smell a lot better than
I said, do you think your nose is as good as a deer's? And my thing with cover scent is I like that you made the point about it giving you confidence, because if you have confidence with what you're doing, that's the most important thing. Because if you don't think that you're doing something right, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
And if you don't have confidence, like what are you doing? But my thing with cover scent is just like you can cover pig with roses and he's still gonna smell like a pig.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I just think like from a deer's perspective, they always talk about how like if you know anything about like dog tracking and how the deer's nose is comparable to a dog's, a human walks into a bakery and he smells a cake. That dog smells sugar, flour, icing, everything that makes that cake. He can take that apart. And a deer's nose is just like a dog's, and he's going to smell OdorZone SP-E on top of a human. That's the science behind it. I don't want to burst your bubble, and I don't want to act like I know everything either. And if cover scents work for you, that's great. I know there's a bunch of cover scents. There's some scents that we had on that are supposed to kind of mask the ability for a deer to smell, and I don't buy into it. And the reason is, one, because of the science, and two, it's something else you got to buy.
Yeah.
How much was this?
It was like $12.
It's $12. You could have bought a gear hanger.
Yeah.
I think I do like that it gives you that confidence, and if that's what it is for you, then cool. But I don't want you to hunt the wrong wind because you have a cover scent and say, oh, those deer were downwind of me, they didn't smell me. Well, something was going on with your thermals or something to where they didn't smell you. It wasn't the cover scent, I can promise you that.
Yeah, I mean, I still play the wind correctly, and I'm not gonna just completely ignore that factor. But like you said, it just makes me feel a little bit better when I'm going entry and exit, covering my ground scent, if it does at all. But it makes me feel better. The first hunt I did use it, I did have deer come downwind of me. I didn't think they were gonna be coming from that way, but they did. And they could tell something was up. I actually had one completely right underneath of me, and they never smelled me. And they ended up spooking because one of them saw me move when I was trying to shoot her. She saw me putting my rangefinder away, so that was on my end. But other than that, I thought it actually helped a little bit. I don't know if, like you said, it was something with the thermals where my wind was maybe just going over them or what, but it felt like it helped a little bit.
I'm along the same lines as Cameron. Like if you have confidence in something, whether I think it's the worst thing in the world or the best thing in the world, like it doesn't matter because you're using it.
Doing it.
Keep doing it. When it comes to, I guess, products like this, there are things that eliminate bacteria, which can help eliminate scent or control your scent, minimize your footprint. Like I believe that ozone does that. I believe that there's other chemical products that do that. Like there is some science behind some of those types of products. The cover scent stuff, like, yeah, I think that you framed it up pretty good. Like you're covering your scent. The deer's gonna know that you're covering human scent with whatever that you're using. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go into that. The thing that I don't like about this is, and this is something we talk about in the trail camera world, is like all these marketing words, like the marketing jargon, the made up terms, and like OdorZone. Yeah. Trademarked. When you look at the ingredients of what is in here killing or like supposedly killing the bacteria or eliminating your scent, there's nothing listed. So like, what is it? Is it
dirt water maybe?
It could be dirt water. It could be water out of a tap. Like
that thing is not mechanically creating ozone. And that's kind of what they're like.
But maybe, possibly, because there are ozone machines that you can, trying to think what the right word is, produce ozone inside of H2O and then spray the water. Like you can, there's products that do that. Yeah. They're used like in the food service industry to clean produce.
I think ScentLock has one.
I don't know.
I think they do.
It's like a refillable bottle. And it adds ozone to the water, and you just use it as spray.
Yeah. I'm not super versed in that stuff, just because at the end of the day, I don't think you're gonna be deer's nose, hunt the wind. But for me, I think it's a gadget. I wouldn't spend money on it, but I'm not the one. It's not my money.
Yeah.
Not my dollar bills. It's not my hunt.
I agree. Not my pig, not my farm, but I think it's a gadget. I think cover scents are gadgets. I think it gives people false hope, and people use them incorrectly, and that's where the gadget play comes in, because like companies are telling you that a deer's not going to smell you, and we all know that's not true.
Yeah, part of that falls back to intent.
Yeah.
Like, what's the intent of that? How like companies pushing a product?
Yeah. Real quick, along the lines of these cover scents, like the worst ones ever, the smoke ones. Oh yeah. The ones that.
Yes, like in the fact that. Well, I might disagree with that a little bit.
Why?
because I think that, you know, that conversation that we had with Mike Rex about preserving food with smoke, like specific hardwood smoke, because there's
I don't mean the smokers. I mean the cover scents that smell like smoke.
oh,
Because they're telling you, because they think that the smoke is what's covering your scent. But Mike Rex was saying it's actually that hardwood actually physically putting the smoke
because it kills the bacteria.
because it kills the bacteria.
Yeah.
It's the cover scents that smell like smoke, because people are saying, oh, smoke will cover your scent. It's not. It's not what it is. It's killing the bacteria.
Right.
Like the actual physical smoke. But that's another conversation
Right.
for another time. But
Yeah.
what'd you bring in, Chad?
I brought something in that I picked up for my Western hunt, my elk hunt this year. And knowing that we were going to go on this trip, part of it was going to be hunting from the truck, part of it was going to be backcountry for 3, 4, 5 days at a time. Needed a way to charge camera gear, GoPro batteries, camera batteries, charge my phone because I'm using GPS. So what I brought in is a 10 amp hour power bank that has a little solar panel on the front of this. Has a built-in flashlight, 10 amps of capacity, 10 amp hours of capacity, multiple different ports here. There's a Type-C, there's USB. Comes with an AC/DC charger, so you can also charge it from a receptacle in a wall. And my thought process was, if you're in the backcountry for 4 or 5 days, 3 days, whatever it is, I at least need to charge my phone. Now, maybe I don't need to charge my batteries every single day because I'm going to have extra batteries with me, but I'm using my GPS on my phone. I know that I'm going to need it. So basically, I carried this with me, hung it on my pack or kept it inside my pack. And then at any point in time, if I needed to rejuice my phone, boom, plugged it in, charged my phone up. Also, it was kind of felt like a little bit of a safety net. Like if I were to get lost, if something were bad to happen, got a flashlight here, and then I have something that I could charge my phone up or charge a battery up or charge whatever. So this I bought off Amazon. No experience with this specific brand or type of product other than the solar panels and the SP18s that we use for cameras. So I thought that it would be a good purchase. And I think the idea of the product is a good purchase. I'm not sure I would specifically buy this brand again. And I think this was only, I want to say it was $40. Not really high end. I mean, there's some higher end ones like from Dark Energy. There's some other similar type products with more capacity, probably better charging efficiency that might run you $100, $150, something like that. Which I will probably get into that type of product for my next backcountry hunt. But also, a lot of the whitetail stuff I do, I am, I guess everybody really in November, like all day sits. There's a lot of times, like I don't care who you are, you're on your phone. Yeah, you're messing around on your phone.
Whether you're looking at OnX or doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing,
right.
We're all doing it. It's the way of the world now.
Right. And oftentimes, I'm in places where I have no signal, so I'm roaming, or I have an airplane mode, maybe. Oftentimes my batteries go dead. So this will be part of my whitetail system come November. However, I won't buy this specific brand, and this is just a white label product. This isn't something owned by a specific brand. You could get on Amazon and search these, and there's 50 different brands that come up, and they're exactly all the same. I can't tell you my consumer behavior that led me to purchase this. It was probably price point because it was 40 or 50 bucks. And the things I don't like about it are the tolerances on all the ports. So the tolerances are terrible. Like the USB Type-C, you have to sit there and finagle. I mean, I'm talking a brand new Apple branded power cord, and the tolerances just are not fitting inside these ports. Also the same thing with the USB. Like a USB 2.0, terrible tolerances. I had a heck of a time in Idaho trying to get things to charge. Even in Wisconsin, when we were in Wisconsin, it's like I had to plug something in, and then I had to wrap the cord a certain way and put pressure on it and get a stick and hold it down. And then I would wake up, and sometimes whatever I had plugged in would charge. Sometimes it wouldn't. And it wasn't, it wasn't the capacity in this. It wasn't the battery bank essentially going bad. It's just the dang ports having a solid connection inside the ports.
What is the charging efficiency on that?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to, which we can look that up and maybe drop it in the description or give you a screenshot of what it is. Let me, It doesn't say, even on the back on the specifications, it doesn't say. This specific model is a PNW05, outputs 2.1 amps. Some of that depends on the type of cable that you have plugged into your device. Again, 10 amp hours of capacity in this little thing. I'm not real sure what the charging efficiency is. That panel is pretty small. You guys can kind of see it's only 4 inches by maybe 2 inches, so pretty damn small. And the one thing I noticed in Idaho, I would charge my phone every day, and I would charge typically a GoPro battery and just plug the GoPro in so I didn't have to swap batteries out. And while I had this either on my backpack or set out at camp sometimes, whatever, when it was in direct sunlight and I was charging 2 items in a 24-hour period, I would neither gain or lose any available capacity. So I don't know how that works out, but I was able to charge my phone and one GoPro battery on this without losing any capacity.
Well, that's good.
So it's not terrible, but also it's out in the sunlight for 10 hours and I wasn't gaining anything, wasn't losing anything. So
as long as you can keep your stuff charged, I guess that it did its job.
Yeah, absolutely did its job for $40. If that's your price point, I think it's probably worth the 30 or $40. I would just rather have something a little more reliable where I don't have to worry about the tolerances on the ports, because regardless if the solar panel works, the battery bank works, if you don't have good connection with out of these ports with your cable, you're up the creek anyways.
Yeah, so I always keep one in my pack as well. Kayla has the dark energy one, and that thing's sweet. You can run it over with your truck. It's like built for outdoorsmen. But it doesn't have, the one that I have doesn't have solar capabilities. I'm pretty sure they have a new one now that does, but the one that I have doesn't. It also has 10 hours of capacity. So you can charge your phone 3 times, I think. But another thing that I use them for is when I'm using a GoPro, I will keep them plugged in at all times. So that battery power is always plugged in to a GoPro. So GoPro batteries don't last that long. And if you're using for second angle, it's great to let them keep running, because if something happens, you can't turn a camera on, you always have that backup. So I keep a long cord in my pack, and I always keep a battery pack in my pack, and it's always plugged in. So that's always charging. I saw that on Shane Simpson's YouTube channel. He always uses those Hero 360 cameras, and he has it on that pole, and there's always a cord going to it. I was like, what is that? And the one hunt, he put them on the ground, and he had external power on both of them, so they never run out of battery, which is a super smart idea. But yeah, I think having some type of external power in today's world, or like you said, we're all on our phone. If you're hunting all day, if you're in like the backcountry and you get lost and you need to have your phone for some reason, it's good to have. So I will go with having external power. Some type of external power source is gear. I have the dark energy one. It was like $100, but it's been worth it.
Yeah, I definitely like the product. I've never used one personally, but I definitely see the use for it, especially like the all-day sits. Your phone batteries, they don't seem to last at all anymore. No matter how much money you spend on them, their batteries last like an hour. So I would definitely think that's a good product to use to charge your phone throughout your hunts or whatever if you're out west. And then I like how it's got the flashlight built into it, even has the compass on there. I don't know if
I trust the compass.
Well, yeah, it's just be nice to have, I guess, if everything's dead, and you can at least somewhat maybe get a good direction on where you're going. But yeah, I definitely think that's a gear I definitely might look into one to purchase for this season.
You know what you could do with it?
What?
Charge your vape.
Lawn hunting? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but Jase brought like the game changer of the year, and it's his vape, and he puts doe estrus in it. So
it works very well. It doesn't taste the best, but it works very well.